Robert Plant. Back when rock was being reinvented in real time, there were no charts, no maps, just a few kids chasing a sound nobody could name yet. One of them was Robert Plant, and in 1980, after a tragedy that would crush most people, he made a choice that may have cost him a fortune. Most of us can't even picture then spent the rest of his life guarding secrets that shaped the legend. Why turn down unimaginable reunion money? Why a relationship with his ex-wife's sister? And how do you go on after losing your 5-year-old son and your closest friend? Tonight, we're opening the door on the life of the golden-voiced frontman who refused to live in the past. Robert Plant grew up pulled between two worlds. His father, Robert C. Plant, was a steady, practical engineer, the kind who built runways and trusted plans. His mother, Annie Celia Kane, had Romany roots and filled the house with folklore, color, and a hint of wanderer's magic. The setting? England's black country smokestacks, grit, the constant gray of industry. No wonder his lyrics later shimmered with myths and open roads. He was born between order and the unknown. School looked like the safe path. Instead, the blues hit him like a lightning strike. Muddy Waters, Howlin' Wolf, Sonny Boy Williamson, the second voices from across the ocean, whispering hunger, longing, and truth. While friends revised Latin declensions, Plant was in his room devouring imported records and teaching himself to live inside a song. He didn't fit the mold, and he knew it. So he left school, left expectations, left home, 16, broke, couch surfing, laying tarmac for Wimpy by day, just to buy time to sing by night. The one constant was Maureen Wilson, the girlfriend who believed when no one else did. Then came the spark. The Band of Joy. Yes, the name was prophetic. Put Robert Plant on stage beside a thunderbolt of a drummer, John Bonham. Local legend followed. Sold-out pubs, sweat-slicked ceilings, a roar that made you feel 10 feet tall. No record deal, not much money, but something bigger was forming a sound that couldn't be ignored forever. Enter Jimmy Page of the Yardbirds, suddenly bandless and staring at tour contracts that would implode without a singer. His first pick, Terry Reid, passed but pointed him straight at Plant. One night, in a small college hall, Page watched this unknown kid tear through Somebody to Love and Antique Blues like he was channeling storms. The next day, they met in a creaky boathouse, traded Robert Johnson and Skip James records till 4 a.m., and realized they heard the world the same way, heavy but airborne, ancient yet brand new. Add John Bonham insistent, meteoric and multi-instrument magician John Paul Jones, a legal scuffle nudged them from the new Yardbirds to a joke name respelled with style, Led Zeppelin. It wasn't a launch, it was a detonation. Within months, the debut album redrew the map. Those banshee highs, the feral growls, the space-shifting hush. Plant's voice didn't just lead the band, it dragged the entire decade forward. On stage, he was impossible to forget. Long blonde hair, open shirt, that loose-hipped snap of the fingers before the mic stand tilted back. Golden God? Fans said it first. And the words, oh, the words. Tolkien-laced journeys in Ramble On, the eerie balladry of The Battle of Evermore, Viking thunder in Immigrant Song. He took British hard rock and threaded it with old-world myth, until riffs felt like sagas. But myth has a price. There were scandals, that infamous hotel by the water tail, retold by Frank Zappa, confirmed years later by Carmine Appice, and there was the chaos of sudden wealth. A small fortune stolen from a New York hotel deposit box, never recovered. Still, the music kept getting bigger, peaking with an untitled fourth album whose centerpiece, Stairway to Heaven, rewired how long and how daring a hit could be. Then, the road turned hard. In 1975, a car crash left Plant in a wheelchair and Maureen Wilson fighting for her life. He recorded sitting down, toured, delayed, memory shaken, but he clawed back. In 1977, fate was crueler. His little boy, Karak, fell ill and was gone within days. Plant's world caved in. He nearly quit everything: music, fame, all of it. What pulled him back wasn't therapy or headlines, it was John Bonham. Bonzo showed up, stood by him, kept him moving when standing still meant drowning. Out of that grief came All My Love, Plant's rawest goodbye synths from John Paul Jones, almost no Jimmy Page, and a single vocal take because he couldn't bear to sing it twice. 3 years later, tragedy hit again. After a brutal binge, John Bonham didn't wake up. He was 32. The band ended that day, no auditions, no stand-ins. You can argue about what came after rumored 9-figure offers to reunite, hints of tours that never were. Plant heard the door creak open and closed it himself. Call it stubborn pride, call it loyalty, call it survival. He chose not to be a museum piece. Alone at the edge of a cliff, he took a step forward. Phil Collins, a fan first, a superstar second, sat at the drums for Plant's debut solo record and early shows, lending more than beats. He lent courage. Pictures at 11 landed. Big Log drifted across late-night radio like heat over a desert road. Then, Now and Zen cracked the code, honoring the past without living in it, complete with Jimmy Page guest spots and modern polish that brought a new generation in. His private life? Complicated, human, and very much his. The marriage to Maureen Wilson ended. Years later, Plant had a son, Jesse Lee, with Shirley Wilson, Maureen's sister. It raised eyebrows then, and still does. He doesn't parade it. He never did. Family, for him, has always been where the music goes quiet. The art kept stretching. Teaming with Alison Krauss, he made Raising Sand, a record nobody saw coming that swept major awards and proved that the voice that once rode a hurricane could also float like dust in morning light. Since then, he's stayed close to home in the Midlands, turning up at local football, quietly backing charities, and touring with Saving Grace small rooms, big heart, zero nostalgia acts. He could live like a king. He chooses to live like a neighbor. And that rumored $800 million question? Here's the truth hidden in plain sight. The number doesn't matter. What matters is the principle. Robert Plant refused to trade memory for money. He lost a son. He lost a brother in arms. He lost friends to the machine that chews artists up and spits out t-shirts. He wasn't going to lose himself, too. When he sings now, you can hear all of that storm and sunlight, glory and grief in the same note. So, was his life soaked in secrets? Sure. A forbidden love. A son the public rarely hears about. A quiet town life instead of a neon victory lap. But that's the point. He took back the one thing fame tries to steal. The right to decide who you are.